Good evening, afternoon, night, morning, whenever you find a way to watch, listen to this podcast. It is me, Omar Rashan Borja, and I am here with a special guest. And I mean, with the off season topics, it's another topic about a neutral site game. If you were following the channel, you would have known that that I posted an interview. Excuse me, posted an interview with Lake Forest head coach and associate athletic director Jim Catanzaro about his school's game in Arizona, which I mean, if you haven't seen already, it's an amazing discussion. And it was just a really intriguing discussion about him with the school in Illinois moving the game to Arizona. But today I'm joined by Matt Johnson, the athletic director for Franklin Pierce University in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ringe,
in New
New
Hampshire.
Hampshire. Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got mixed up a bit because I know Franklin Pierce went to Bowdoin in Maine. So um, should have double checked that. But thank you again, Mr. Johnson. How's everything going?
Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, the as always, the school year went by very, very quickly. The academic year and our students. We had commencement yesterday. Our students are all kind of on their way home now. So time to get a little rest for everybody, recharge the battery, and get ready to go again in August.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely forgot the whole flow of like the academic year, working or just being at school. So it's definitely a nice time of the year for you, I can imagine.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. Of course, we're always trying to prepare for the following year, but certainly it's not going to be quite as busy. We won't have games going on. So yeah, it will definitely be an opportunity for people to get away a little bit and then get ready to get back at it in August.
Awesome. We all need a recharge. Now,
Yeah.
now to the main point of our discussion. So, looking back at, I was looking at schedules, at lunch, was kind of bored, and I saw that Kentucky State released their schedule, and I saw that they were playing in not only two HBCU classics, but one being in Puerto Rico, which Franklin Pierce is playing Kentucky State, and so I want to know first. When did I guess talks and negotiations begin to have this game against Kentucky State in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, probably about a month ago. Everything happened very quickly. We were having a really difficult time based on when our bye week was, trying to find another game. And so we had reached out to a number of schools, and it became pretty clear that there wasn't anyone close. So we were in discussions with teams out of North Carolina. And that can be pretty costly. And for a small school, like Franklin Pierce, it's a challenge to pay $40,000-$50,000 for one trip. So, we were back and forth with a number of schools. I was talking to coach pretty routinely. We were exploring the possibility of, potentially playing some Division threes locally. And then all of a sudden, someone reached out to coach and he proposed this opportunity to us, and it made too much sense. And the timing was perfect. We had already struggled for months trying to find that last opponent, and we wanted to play a Division II opponent so that the game counted for NCAA purposes. So it all came together very quickly from the time that coach told me about it to the time that we signed the agreement. It was probably a week, and yeah, so we're very excited to have this opportunity. Our kids don't get a chance to get away that much because, again, in football you're traveling with so many kids. The cost is just, it's a lot. And so this is a tremendous opportunity for all of our players, our coaching staff. I believe our president will be out there. I won't be able to make it because I also coach women's soccer, and we've got a game that day. But yeah, excited about this opportunity. It started about a month ago, and it materialized pretty quickly.
Wow, I would have thought this was like some long-term plan that you guys were a part of. But wow, that's amazing. Everything lining up at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, it couldn't have been better. I mean, I think our coach, the way he said, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and so we had kind of thought, hey, we're going to have to find a way to come up with $40,000-$50,000 and get on the road and play somewhere pretty far away, or we're going to have to play a Division III game, which it just wouldn't have counted. The game wouldn't have counted for NCAA purposes. So yeah, just having this come together really quickly, it really was a blessing, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So another question I have. So it seems that I guess a lot of the expenses are covered by the organizers. So do you mind if I ask who the organizers are, if you have that, and I guess what expenses they're covering?
To be honest, I don't remember, because it's not it's, I think it's a gentleman that is just actively, that has done well in his career. I believe he's retired. He's down in Puerto Rico. He's just looking to help the community out down there. He's doing a number of philanthropic things, and this is an opportunity to bring U.S. football, to Puerto Rico. So, the kids in Puerto Rico can see, hey, this is what it looks like. And all of you have an opportunity to go to the U.S. and potentially, whether it be football or soccer or another sport, pursue your dream of playing a sport in college and getting a degree. So it's a feel good story as well, which is something that we were very excited about joining in on. But yeah, most of the stuff is covered. I mean, flights for all of our players, hotels, ground transportation. This gentleman is just, he's doing great things, and I think we just cover our meals and some other incidentals. But yeah, it's really an exciting opportunity for us. I would think for both schools and also the community in Puerto Rico, that is going to get a chance to see a high level football game.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have a question about the opponent. I know everything came quick and it came out of necessity, but I believe this might be the first HBCU that Franklin Pierce is playing. How does it feel to just be able to share the field with a program in HBCU with the history of Kentucky State? It's been around for decades.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, we, again, not knowing if we were going to get another game, and then getting a team like Kentucky State, at the last minute. That's fantastic. I know the coaches are really excited. We believe we're a program on the rise. We're in year, I believe it's year 5 or year 6. We just started football, and Coach Gass has done a tremendous job. We've gotten better each year, and I believe we'll be predicted to finish probably in the top 3 next year in the conference. We returned some pretty big pieces. Our quarterback is big time, and so we've got some other really really talented players. So we feel that we're one of the programs that is continued to get better and better. And when you're in that situation, you want to test yourself. You want to play good teams. You want to play good programs. You want to measure your program against some of the best. And so yeah, we're very excited to be playing in a game like this. We're not an HBCU school, but Franklin Pierce is a university that is committed to diversity, and so this is a great opportunity for us to to showcase ourselves and to be involved in something so special.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm excited to see what you can do on this, what your program can do on this big stage. Another question I have is your school going to be open to playing more neutral site games or even destination games? I know you talked to schools as far as North Carolina, but are you guys going to be more eager, or yeah, I guess more eager to schedule games like far out? I mean, maybe it may not be Puerto Rico, but I guess destination games like this.
I think we're, for us and for most, it's unfortunate for most small Division 2, Division 3 privates that maybe don't have massive endowments. A lot of stuff comes down to cost. So if these scenarios were to present themselves again, where some of the costs were deferred, yeah, we love it. The coaches love it. The players will, I'm sure, be excited. But especially in the sport of football, when you're looking to play farther away, those costs start to jump up pretty quickly. So I think that would be the only thing that would prohibit us from looking to play a little bit further away from home. But again, in opportunities like this, where some of these costs are subsidized and it becomes affordable to the institution, I think we would jump at opportunities like this.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I know the costs are just adding up in this day and age of college football, and I know you guys just being in the Northeast 10. I mean, aren't used to aren't used to long travel. I mean,
Oh,
everyone's in the same place.
yeah. Yeah, we're pretty close. I mean, most of our trips are almost all are day trips. We might mix in one if we play pace. It might be an overnight. But the majority of our trips are day trips, and we're not traveling too far. We're very lucky in the Northeast. There's a college on every street corner. So we're not having to travel too far. So like I said, these things are great for teams. They're great bonding experiences to get away, spend a couple days in hotels together. But again, in football, because the travel party is so big, it does become, at times it becomes pretty costly. But this is, like I said, a tremendous opportunity for us, and we're really excited about it. The institution is looking to get behind it, and we're hoping to send some, quite a few people out there to support the program.
That's awesome. So I got a bit of a tough question. I mean, this will be my last question.
Yeah.
So looking at Franklin Pierce's football home attendance past couple years, I mean, it's been around about 400 fans. Um, in what ways do you think a game like this can reinvigorate interest in the program? I know you guys transitioned from sprint football in 28 or after the 2018 season, and there was a high amount of interest in that first year in Division Two, and then it kind of tapered off. So, in what ways can a game a game like this in a destination like Puerto Rico and reinvigorate fan interest in the program?
Yeah, I think we're trying to do everything we can to increase those numbers. So, Coach Gass is a tremendous representative of the institution and also the football program. I know he's doing a lot in the community, and we've also recently I think in the next day or two going to sign a contract to have a top 10 Division II program come in and play us at home on. I think it's going to be September 5th, 6 p.m. game. So that's another opportunity for us to market and promote. Hey, this is a kind of a clash of two really top level Division II programs. We're not quite at that level. We're a top 25 or whatnot, but I know we're working towards that. So we're doing everything we can to try to get the community behind us. Unfortunately, it is a very small community. Franklin Pierce, the Ringe area. It's not. We're not really near any big cities. The population is not vast. So it's not as easy for us to get to get a lot of fans at the games. But that being said, we're committed to continuing to do our part in the community to try to get people excited about, hey, we can walk, right there. We can drive right down the street, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and see a really high level football game. See some of the better teams in the country coming in here and playing against us. So I think this game, just anything we can do to get on more of a national a national scale where we're playing nationally, we're getting a little bit more recognition, we're getting the name of the program out there. I think all of that stuff is good to try to entice some more people to come to your games. But that is an ongoing effort for us. We have theme games for all of our home games. We try to jazz it up. We have Raven Row kind of up top where we have a lot of season ticket holders that are coming in and playing music and cooking up a lot of food and having fun at our games. So we're doing everything we can. But I think games like this can only help to draw attention to our program.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's tough, like you said, doing research on the area that Franklin Pierce is in, not the most populated area. So the challenges are there. A question I have, you mentioned season ticket holders. This will be my last question. You mentioned season ticket holders, and I remember in college on a free weekend just watching a Fordham game, and they were advertising their trip to Hawaii. And this was in 2020, of course, before the pandemic happened. And they advertised a travel package with a bunch of amenities that kind of cut costs for the fans. Are there plans for a travel package for your season ticket holders or for anyone else that's interested in making the trip to Puerto Rico and making it sort of like an alumni/university like event?
Yeah, so I think it's a great question. I do know that I sit in on President's Council every Tuesday morning, and we, the council is very excited about this game, and I do know that our development office, alumni and development office, has talked about whether or not there's something they can do to make there be an alumni event, similar to what you just said, to offer some type of a package or whatnot. So I don't think we're there yet. But I do believe that maybe some conversations have taken place on campus, and we're trying to figure out how to maximize this game because we haven't had an opportunity like this before. So it's a great question. I think what it'll allow me to do is kind of circle back with our folks on campus and see if there's been any movement in this area. But I do think that the goal on campus is to maximize this opportunity as much as possible in as many ways as possible. And so I think this can kickstart some of those conversations on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I hope the long-term effects are great for the program and just for the school as a whole in terms of this as an event. Well, thank you so much for your time, Matt. I really appreciate it. Do you have anything final you want to advertise for your university, or just anything else you want to add at the end?
No, I mean, I think the big thing about Franklin Pierce, again, we're a smaller private Division II school in Rindge, New Hampshire. It's not for the kid that's looking to be in a major city, but it's, the campus is just beautiful. It's right on a lake. You look up into the background. It looks like Mount Monadnock is built into the campus. Mount Monadnock, I believe, is one of the most hiked mountains in the United States. So for those that know maybe, hey, I don't need to be right in a major city. It's very beautiful. It's very safe. It's very outdoorsy. It's very athletic. We have a huge student athlete population, and I've really enjoyed. I've been at Franklin Pierce for just over 4 years. I've really enjoyed my time, and I coach women's soccer, and we've got a great program, but we've also got a lot of student athletes that love being at Franklin Pierce and love just how beautiful it is, and so I think it's not for everybody, but it certainly is for a lot of people. So for those that don't know about Franklin Pierce, I'd encourage you to go on our website and take a virtual tour and see how beautiful it is, and then you may have some interest after that.
Yep. I mean, I lived in Massachusetts for 10 years and then went to college, of course, in the Northeast at West Point. So the Northeast is just such a beautiful region, and I second that. I have nothing else really to add.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate this opportunity, and we're looking forward to this game.
Yeah. Thanks again, Matt, for your time early on a Sunday. And for everyone listening, thanks for joining, and tune in next time. Peace, love, and soul.
Perfect.
Good evening, afternoon, night, morning, whenever you find a way to watch, listen to this podcast. It is me, Omar Rashan Bora, the Burger Popper of Hardwood Pod, and we're getting so much closer to the season. We are less than 3 months away from week 0. Tomorrow, we will have the TV network designations and times for weeks 0 through 3. So an exciting time, but just more off-season content on the way. And I'm joined by a very special guest. I'm joined by Coach Russell Gaskamp of Franklin Pierce University. And this is part of a 2-part series where first I interviewed Franklin Pierce University's athletic director, Mr. Matt Johnson. And now I'm interviewing the football team's head coach for Franklin Pierce, Russell Gaskamp, who has a really fascinating story. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to also talk about Franklin Pierce playing in an HBCU Classic in Puerto Rico and just what that means for the program and just the buzz that's surrounding that. So, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it took a little bit for some coordination, but I'm glad we can make this happen.
No, I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate your interest in the program. And, obviously we're very excited about this opportunity.
Awesome. So just starting off, so looking at your background, right? I mean, you played ball at Texas Longhorns, and then your first head coaching job at the collegiate level was Oklahoma Panhandle State University, and then of course, a quick look up, Franklin Pierce being in the Northeast 10. It doesn't take a scholar to realize that that's nowhere near Texas. So, Coach, how did you end up out of New Hampshire at Franklin Pierce?
Yeah, great question, man. So, first of all, you mentioned that I played at UT. I was a guy that's, I'm from the Southwest. I went to high school in Oklahoma, but kind of grew up in Texas. And my dad's from Oklahoma, or my dad's from Texas. My mom's from Oklahoma. And I went back and forth quite a bit between those two states. And so people usually refer to me as a Texlahoman, So I've spent a lot of time in both of those states. And I played University of Texas. You can see the pictures behind me there. You got a picture of the team picture from my senior year. That was Mac Brown's first year there at Texas, and went on to have a great season that year. But the picture below that is a cover of Texas Monthly, and that's me and the 4 senior starters on that offensive line holding Ricky Williams up. Like any good offensive lineman, man, doing all the hard work, and that guy just winning the Heisman Trophy. So, but no, he's the best player I ever played with, and he was an incredible guy and incredible player, man. And so a great opportunity. So, but yeah, got done playing and started at the semi-pro level as a coach, and for a guy that I played for at University of Texas, and then got into college coaching after that, and was in a conference called the Lone Star Conference, Division II conference. It was really, really great conference, and was an assistant at that level for 8 seasons, I think, and had an offensive coordinator background, and then I got an opportunity. I was the offense coordinator at Angelo State, and got a call from Oklahoma Panhandle State, which very few people know that much about. Back then, we were a Division II independent, and we were at that level for 5 years, and then made the transition to the NAIA level, which was really more appropriate for that school. And so, had kind of unparalleled success there at that school. Our third year, we had the best record that they had in 30 years, and then was able to kind of build that program, and take it to heights it had never seen. And my last year there, we played in a conference championship game, built brand new facilities, brand new field, Megatron scoreboard, all the above, and it took a real young team to a conference championship game. And my wife and I kind of felt like we had accomplished everything that we wanted to accomplish there. So about 4 days after that season ended, I get a phone call from a lady named Rachel Burleson, who was the athletic director at Franklin Pierce University in New Hampshire. And she said, "Hey, you won at Panhandle State. No one's ever won at Panhandle State. And I want to bring, kind of that kind of Texas, kind of flair to a program, and I'm going to start a program from scratch. Are you interested in being the head coach here?" And so I said, "Well, okay, well, let me look to see where New Hampshire is on a map." I knew it was somewhere in the Northeast, but had never been up this direction before. My wife and I, we don't have any kids. People say, "Coach, you got kids?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got 105 of them every year, man. They're a pain in the butt, and I love them to death." And so, so it allowed us to be able to take that opportunity. And I flew into Boston and started driving into our campus. Our campus literally sits on a lake, and a beautiful place. I fish it all the time. I love the outdoors and love the fish, and saw that. And then I saw Mount Monadnock right behind our campus, 10 miles away from our campus. And it's, second most hiked mountain in the world. And I knew that it would be a place that I was going to be able to win and recruit to. And so I've had the distinct pleasure of being the one and only head coach of this program, starting it from scratch. We've built the program the right way. We didn't try to quick fix it. We played young guys early, so we stunk early. We knew that, but we told the recruits, "Hey, listen, we're not going to be very good to start, but you're going to play, and you're not going to redshirt. We're going to teach you how to be college football players." And over the last 4 years, we've improved our record every year. Ended up last year with our first winning record, being third in the league in a good league. And we really feel like this is kind of the first shot where we're old enough now. We have good enough talent here to have a great chance to win the NE10 this year. And so we're really super excited. I got a great young staff. We've kept the same staff basically in place for the last 4 years, and we've retained and kept our kids, man. And they've been part of this growing process, and we've gotten better every year. It's a really exciting time for our program.
Yeah, it's a great story for sure, Coach. I mean, I can remember. I know you said that Franklin Pierce started from scratch. I can remember them being part of the. I know there's a sprint football program when I was out of college at West Point, right? And I mean, just like seeing all these random schools. It's funny just seeing Army play Duke. When I was in college, I played Duke. They played who else? Tulane, all those schools, and then seeing the sprint football team being associated with schools that I've never heard of, like Alderson Broaddus.
Omar, I'll tell you right now, brother. Like when they told me that they had a sprint program, I've been in football since I was in third grade, man. I never heard of sprint. I had no idea what it was. And they had a great group of kids here, and that was part of that transition, right? Because we didn't want to tell those kids, you won't have an opportunity to come here and play. But obviously we're going up to the NCAA level and what that takes to be able to win at this level, and so there's been a lot of growing pains, but man, it's been a lot of fun, man. We've really thoroughly enjoyed it. My wife and I absolutely love New Hampshire. And it's been great for her. My wife's name is Justine. For the two of us to be up here, we absolutely love the Northeast.
Yeah, I honestly missed it. I grew up in Massachusetts and then went to college out of New York, so I do miss the
Oh,
Northeast.
okay, cool, man. Yeah, nice.
So a question I have though, the athletic director at Franklin Pierce, I mean, asked about when originally hiring you, you mentioned bringing that Texas flair to the program. So New Hampshire, New England, I mean, it's not known for their I guess their fervent spirit for college football. So I guess what adjustment was it coming from Texas, coming from Oklahoma, like crazy football, crazy areas to starting this program from scratch, going up to New Hampshire where people, I don't know if there's a better term than have better things to do than watch college football.
Well, here's a great example. Okay. So we play our very first game in program history, and we have a wonderful thing here called Raven Row, which is our tailgating area. We kind of had to teach people what tailgating was. That's how little people knew about like college football and what that seems like. And now you come to a game day experience here in Ringe, and every single game we sell out at least 24 tents. It's a very unique backdrop because majority of our fan base is above the stadium. That's to be able to stay in their tents, cook out, enjoy the gas station, which is our where the local brewery comes in and puts on a wonderful tailgate, and we have a very live fan base. We have a great game day experience here, but that's been part of the growing pains, right? It's kind of teaching everyone around here like what a college football program is really like, and what a successful college football program can have from a very positive impact on the school. And we're a small school. Our football team makes up almost 10% of our campus. My entire football team lives here on campus, and so we have a great impact. And our guys have done really well in the classroom, and we're graduating guys left and right. And I think we've graduated 42 guys over the last 2 years, and so our guys have come here, done well in the classroom, and we're getting better and better on the football field. So it's a very exciting time.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. I mean, to hear that you had to teach the locals how to tailgate, for me, like it seems like a universal concept.
Well, like here's a great example. So I remember, my wife's tent was right next to the president's tent, and at the time, our previous president, and they show up for tailgating, and they got white wine and crackers and cheese platters and stuff like that. I'm like, that's not what tailgating looks like. This is about people cooking out and people walking around each other's tents and having a good time. And so we've had to teach every little part about it, and we've had to educate, not only, kind of what football is like, but, what Franklin Pierce has been a very strong athletic school. Our two soccer teams have won 9 national championships combined. Our baseball team is perennially a very strong team. So we've been very good in athletics here. And, when we first started, football was kind of the bad one. I mean, we're playing young guys and getting beat pretty good while we played young guys. And, but we've kept the same process going forward the entire time. And we've continued to grow. Our kids are doing great things in the community. And so people care about our team, and our kids are doing things the right way. We're really excited about the direction we're moving in.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. I mean, that's building a program the right way, which is rough in this day and age of NIL and everything. And I'm not sure if we're feeling the effects, but I mean, it's widespread.
We're not feeling the effects of that as much. One of the things I'm so proud of is that we've had very few kids go into the portal. We have a good young staff. We treat our guys the right way. We're very proactive, and we're part of their lives. And so our kids trust us. We treat them the right way. We've had very, very few guys go into the portal. Just to give an example, this last spring we had 70 guys, and one guy got into the portal, and it was for the right reason, so we're building something very strong here.
It's great to hear. So, Coach, now I'm going to shift over to my questions about the game in Puerto Rico. So, first, I want to ask, like, when you found out this would happen and how this game came together.
That is an incredible story. So, last year we played Bryant for a money game and took them down to the very wire. Matter of fact, kind of a controversial call on a fourth down. Gave them a touchdown to take the lead at the very end of the game, or we had a great opportunity to beat a Division I team. right off the bat. But because we had done that, we were short a game. And so we started looking at all the options and just some things that didn't end up working out. And, the good Lord works in mysterious ways, man. And so we're sitting there and I'm like, man, what are we going to do for this game, man? We got to get this 10th game on the schedule. And I'd gotten a phone or an email from Kentucky State, another Division II school, saying, hey, we have an opening during your bye week. Are you interested in getting together and playing a game? And I said, at the time I didn't think anything about it. I'm like, Kentucky State, I don't know how we're going to make that work. And I said, well, coach, we're trying to look at a week one option. I'll get back with you if something doesn't work out. We're in negotiations with a couple of teams. So those kind of fell through. And I thought to myself, laying in bed, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, I guess I'm going to reach back out to Kentucky State and see if, we can figure out something to make something work. At the time, I did not know that it was a game in Puerto Rico. So I call him. Well, I was getting ready to call him, and sure enough, I get another email. Reach back out to me. Okay, you got to give them a lot of credit for being persistent about it. And I said, Coach, I'm open to talk about it. He goes, well, it's a little different opportunity. Actually, it's actually going to be a game. It's going to be the Caribbean HBCU Classic in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I was almost floored. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think how to even, figure that out in my head, like how do you do that? And, obviously the organizers of this event, wanted to make sure they had two teams in there. Kentucky State was the first one that was part of that, with them being the HBCU school. And they needed an opponent, man. We were ecstatic about it immediately because it was going to give us our 10th game. But man, what an awesome opportunity for our guys. I mean, to be the first two Division II programs or anybody that's ever going to play in San Juan at the college level. They obviously, there's a huge interest in baseball there and a huge interest in basketball, and they're trying to build up the college game in that area. And so we're just a great opportunity. We found out and did all the contracts, and it was right around April 1st. And when I told the guys, I'm like, hey guys, just so you know, we're going to play a game in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and they thought I was messing with them. And then I showed them, the graphic for the Caribbean HBCU Classic, and man, the guys were just extremely, extremely excited. I told them, there's only one small thing, though. I'm only going to consider guys that stay here to train over the summer, go on the trip. I was joking with them, but guess what? Those numbers bounced up really quickly. So, yeah. And, your first thing you start thinking of is, well, what do you guys start dealing with logistically? Make sure guys have, passports or real IDs to be able to travel. And, so there's a lot going on with it. We're going to end up being there, I think, for 5 days. And so our fan base is incredibly excited. The parents are incredibly excited. I told them, say, before you buy those plane tickets, you might want to make sure your kid's going to be traveling with us that day. And, but we're going to go down there with, kind of our normal travel roster and go down there and hopefully be able to put on a good show.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's fascinating that caught my eye because one, I mean, it's an HBCU Classic. Franklin Pierce is not an HBCU. And then of course, Kentucky State, a very random school. I'm not sure if you guys have played that far south, even Kentucky ever.
Well, we played Carson Newman back in 21 in Tennessee because we had a team in our league that jumped up. Stonehill jumped up to 1AA right before the year started. So we're looking for a game in that instance. And so we ended up going down to Carson Newman. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's not something we went in with the plan of trying to do something like that. But like I said, the good Lord works in mysterious ways. And our kids are very, very excited about the opportunity.
It truly is like an opportunity of a lifetime. Another question I have, Coach, just regarding this game is, I guess, is a program doing any like kind of special like ticket packages, I guess, travel packages for fans that want to attend?
Yeah, go. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
you. Oh, no worries. I was just reading my question.
So, obviously we're still working through all the details in the game, right? And, we've been telling our fan base, just be patient with us. We are going to be doing some stuff like that. The organizers of the event are going to be putting together some travel packages, hotel rates and stuff like that. And of course, the way I sold it to our parents, like, hey man, you're getting a chance to enjoy Christmas early. Let's go do this all together. Our fan base is really super excited. We have traveled well pretty much since I've been part of the or since we started this program. And as we've continued to get better, there's a lot of games that we'll be on the road and we might have a bigger base than they have. And so I know that our Raven Nation is going to travel well to this game.
So another question that I have, Coach, just regarding travel in the game. So this seems like a one-off thing, but are you using this to leverage recruiting of any sort?
Oh, you better believe it, man. I mean, and listen, like, even without that, I mean, we've been a team that has historically, taken kids from the New England area. Majority of our team comes from about 5 states up here. But if you're a transfer guy that's looking at places considering, and one of those is going to be a 5-day trip to Puerto Rico in the middle of the season, I can assure you, Omar, that has not hurt us at all when it's come to what we've talked about. And it's just such a cool opportunity. I mean, obviously, we want to go down, we want to win the game, we want to put our best foot forward. We feel like we maybe have a chance to be a team that could make the playoffs this year, and so it's going to be business. But at the same time, what a great reward for our guys, especially our guys that have been in the program for a while, right? So it's a great reward for them, and so it has not hurt our recruiting. I will promise you that. So.
Awesome. I want to ask too, like, after getting this game scheduled, is there an eagerness for you to schedule more kind of destination or even neutral site games in the future?
Well, one of the things that's great about the NE10, okay, the Northeast 10, is that the travel in this league is very minimal. The longest trip for us in any given year would be if we're going to New York and playing Pace, right? And so, excuse me. And so we don't usually do a whole lot of like overnight trips or things that are kind of out of the region. In-region wins is such a big deal to be able to get into the Division II playoffs. And so you want to build your resume as much as you can in the region. But, there's always, considerations to be taken with regards to travel costs and things along those lines. But you just can't pass this opportunity up. And the organizers of the event are stepping up big time, offsetting most of the cost. And so, it was something that made fiscal sense. It was something that made sense to us from a recruiting base. And again, just what an amazing opportunity, great reward for our guys. They're going to understand that it's a business trip, but we're going to have some fun while we're down there too.
Absolutely. Now, I want to ask you about the opponent, right? Just looking at, I follow HBC football a lot. So Kentucky State, they've been around for a while. They've had, I wouldn't say like the richest tradition recently, but there's a lot of names, a lot of great players. I mean, they're a program that's been around for a while. How special is it for your program being as young as it is to share the field with the program, the stature of Kentucky State?
Well, it's an awesome opportunity. And again, you mentioned earlier, I mean, it's different, right? And people get excited about anything different, right? And none of our kids know a single player in their team. As obviously we're going to focus on the first half of this season. We'll start working on Kentucky State as we kind of go along, and we're going to treat it no different than any other weekly preparation that we do. Obviously, there's some logistics about how to be able to do that when you're going to be leaving on a Wednesday morning to fly in. We know that there's going to be a day that we're going to be doing more stuff kind of in the community, and getting our brand out to people in that area. One of the things, obviously, we're not an HBCU school, but we are a team with a lot of diversity. This campus has a lot of diversity, especially from an international standpoint. We get a lot of international students here in our athletic department. And so it's just another little piece of the puzzle about, how we keep, kind of growing the brand and continuing to grow as an athletic department and with our football program. We're really super excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just commitment to diversity is huge. And I mean, like I said, like Kentucky State, no stranger to the football landscape. I mean, they've been around for a while. So it's just great. Just, I guess, a great little, history lesson, to be told about.
Yeah. And we'll do more of that stuff kind of as we get closer to the game. Like I said, so many of our guys being from the New England area don't know that much really outside of the region, the team, the other teams across Division II. I've coached basically Division II ball since I got into college coaching. And so I'm much more familiar, having coached in the Lone Star Conference, coached in Oklahoma, coached in in Texas, much more familiar with kind of the overall national landscape. So yeah, our guys probably don't know a ton about him, but we're going to do a little bit more. I remember when I was at Panhandle, we played a money game versus Grambling, and it was great to be able to kind of share the history behind Grambling and Coach Robinson, and our guys really enjoyed that. We went and toured some of their facilities there in Grambling, and kind of helping them kind of learn a little bit about the HBCU history was a lot of fun for our guys.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to the Eddie Robinson Museum, but it is a bucket list destination.
It is super cool. I would recommend it to anybody, man. It's really, really unique. They got a beautiful setup there, and our team went down there and didn't play very well that day. Unfortunately, they had a Grambling had a good team that year, and we were a smaller program going to play them. But it was a great experience for our guys.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I just have a quick question. I mean, just about the specifics of the game, and if you're not allowed to share, it's totally fine. But has there been a stadium announced? I mean, I know the one big stadium in San Juan is Hiram Bithorn. The Expos played games there before, but I'm just kind of wondering where it's going to be played.
We're in the same position as you are. I know that they've narrowed it down to a couple of options. We're just being flexible. I mean, I'm a pretty laid back guy, so I'm not getting too worked up about it yet. They did tell us where we're going to be staying. And that's about as much as we know so far. We've talked a little bit about the logistics of the trip, but we'll be announcing stuff as we find it out to our fan base and to everyone that's involved with the game. So we're, again, super excited. My wife would tell you I'm not much of a planner, so it doesn't bother me at all that we're going to be figuring out some of the stuff as we go. But yeah, what a unique and cool opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that the game's at Hiram Bithorn, a little piece of MLB history for your squad, just playing in a place that the Expos played home games in, strangely enough. So,
yeah, and we've done some stuff like that in the past. A couple of years back, we played Assumption in the Woosok Stadium down in Worcester. So we've played on a baseball field before, and that was a really cool and unique experience. One of the things about that experience was that both teams were on the same sideline because of the way the viewing worked. So, we kind of had a divider at the 50-yard line. And then we would, if we got real far down to the other side of the field, we would switch coaches and players to the other side of the field when there was a break in the action, run them back, in between series and stuff like that. And so our guys roll with the punches. One of the things we talk about in our program all the time is adapt and overcome. And so nothing seems to really bother these guys. We just get up and go play, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been to a Polar Park game, the Colgate Holy Cross one. It's definitely a beautiful venue, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
It was a challenge that day too. I can't remember if that was the same year that happened. Somebody there was a game that played the day before us, and so as they were preparing the field, we didn't have a ton of time on the field to kind of get used to the settings and the kickers being used to kicking off that ground instead of our turf, but like I said, we kind of roll with the punches around here, so it didn't bother us too much, man. But that was a fun day. We unfortunately ended up on the wrong side of that one. Assumption's been a good team that we were very fortunate last year for us to finally beat them for the first time down there in Worcester, and kind of knock them out of the playoff chase and put together our best season. And it was a big win for our program, beating a storied program like Assumption. We have a lot of respect for those guys, but we were really proud of the way our team played and won that game in double overtime. And it has created a lot of momentum now for us going into the off season. And we know that not only this game with Kentucky State, but after New Haven made the announcement that they were going to bump up this year, that now has allowed us to not only have this game in our NE10 schedule, but now we're playing Slippery Rock in a week 1 game here on a Friday night. So we're going to have a nationally ranked opponent coming into our backyard here on the lake here in beautiful Ringe, America. And we're really super excited. So this is going to be a season of first for us. And hopefully this will be our best season yet.
Yeah, just by name alone, I know a lot of college football fans just know about Slippery Rock. They don't know much about it, but they know that Slippery Rock exists. So that's a huge game.
Well, and trust me, we're plenty aware of them. They're an in-region team that's been one of the top programs in the nation for a while, and so Our guys are going to have a great challenge ahead of them on Friday night, September 5th here at Sodexo Field and Raven Row. I promise you we'll be rocking that night, man. We'll be ready to go. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I got one more question. It's a bit of a fun one. So, like looking at your college career, you played at Hawaii. You played a game at Hawaii. You played in a Big 12 championship. You played in the Fiesta Bowl. Where does this game in Puerto Rico rank among all those experiences you had playing for the Texas Longhorns in terms of memorability and I guess even like enjoyability?
So I've had the chance. I mean, I've been in Notre Dame Stadium. I've been in Pittsburgh Stadium as a player. Played in Hawaii and played at the University of Virginia and a lot of great venues. And then had the opportunity to play in 4 bowls. The very first year of the BCS, played in the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona against Penn State. And I tell people I say, "What's the coolest place you ever played?" Well, my senior year on a Halloween, we went into Nebraska. They had the longest winning streak in the nation. I don't remember 48 games, something like that. They hadn't lost in the home in basically a decade. And we went in there with Ricky and a good Texas Longhorn team and won the game and knocked them out. You want to talk about a fan base? That was the loudest place I ever played. I mean, it was so dang loud there, man. You felt your heart beating the entire game. Now it was incredible atmosphere. But I'm gonna tell you, it had never been done a part of a trip like this. Our guys are going to get to experience something I never got to experience as a player, and so I'm super excited for our guys. Our guys have worked really, really hard, and the commitment to our program and the guys' drive to get this program to a point of national recognition is very important. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm pretty jealous of that, and I tell our players all the time, I trade every year of coaching for one more opportunity to play, man. So you guys are going to get to do something I never got to do.
Wow. That's very well said. I mean, shoot, Puerto Rico is Puerto Rico. I mean, it's paradise. And I've never been,
Sure.
but it seems amazing. But that's all I have, honestly, Coach. So I'm going to give you this last bit of our interview to advertise anything that you want to advertise. Well, I guess maybe not advertise, but promote anything you want to promote. Just any final thoughts.
Well, again, I mean, what an incredible opportunity obviously our kids, when they get there, it's time to go play a game, right? But what an awesome opportunity for our parents. We've had a ton of parents that have sat here through the hard times. Our guys that are fourth year seniors this year went through some of those tough seasons early on when we were going 0-10 and building a program and not taking shortcuts, but doing it the right way. And, our retention's been great. And so it's a reward to our fan base. It's a reward to our parents. We talk about here that our parents are such an important part of what we do. They're part of the family. My number one job as the head coach is to be an extension of the parents. And so, because we all have the same goals for their kids, right? We want to see them graduate. We want to see them have a good time when they're here playing ball. And then we want to see them come out and be well-adjusted people at the end, and so they can go out to the workforce and earn, And so I'm just really happy for our fan base. This is going to be really, really super cool, man.
Yeah, I could not have said it better myself. I mean, I'm excited for your program, for everyone that's going to be able to make the trip down. Thank you again, Coach, for just taking the time, out of your day just to take this interview and everything. And I look forward to seeing that the impact the game has on your program and just what you guys have in store for this year in the Northeast 10.
And I appreciate that. And I promise you, the only thing you kept me from doing today, I'll talk football all day long. But, like I said, we do have one of the most beautiful lakes right in the middle of our campus. So all you did was push back when I'm going to go fishing here in a couple hours, man. So, I appreciate your time as well, man.
Glad to hear. Thank you again, Coach. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next time, everyone, peace, love, and soul.